What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house again. One more again, giving you the latest in NFL sports news around the country. Hoping everybody's having a good Thanksgiving or I guess you can call it Thanksgiving Eve. And you know what? I'm thankful for everything that I have, everything I've accomplished, everything that you know. Um, that I am. I give up thanks all every time I open my mouth to the good Lord above for giving me everything that I have. So I don't know what you guys, trust and believe in, but that's what I trust and believe in. But yeah, Uncle Fred getting a little sappy right here at Thanksgiving, but that's kind of the way that thing goes. So I am thankful, and this is one of my favorite holidays of the season. So, but we know when Thanksgiving comes, it's all about football. So we got a couple of things to get done today, a couple of videos we got to get done today. First one we're going to try to do is try to get our pick'ems from last week, and there's some press and NFL news that's going on, some things that's going on around the NFL world that I think you guys would be privy to know, and maybe want to know what my take is on it. Go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe. Please like and everything that we're doing. We try to give you the best sports coverage that we can, from the NFL, from the Dallas Cowboys, the University of Alabama, and there's pertinent things around the sports world. But I'll encourage you, please get involved with the Uncle Fred experience. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. All right, let's get right going. So I thought maybe we'll do the news first. We'll do the pick'ems first because there was some interesting games this week. I ain't gonna talk about all of them. Just gonna hit the high points. Let's do the games first. All right, let's do that. Let's do the games first. Let me get my page chart here. Let's get the games out the way first, and then we're gonna have to do a pick'em for next week because there's two games tomorrow, one of which includes my Cowboys. I got to talk about that. All right. So one thing I do want y'all to know, your boy went 11-4 last week. You know what I'm saying? Your boy went 11-4. The world is right side up again. That's what I'm talking about. Because your boy went 5-9 and 5-8-1 the last 2 weeks. And who knew? I won more games this week than I won in the last 2 weeks combined. I think I was 10, 14-1. Yeah, 10, 14, because 10 and 5-8 and 5-9, 8 and 8 and 5-9 is 14. Yeah. So 10, 14, and 1. So this week, man, got off to a good start with that Thursday night. Tried to tell you, New England Patriots beat the Atlanta Falcons 25-0. Wasn't a good game to watch. New England Patriots just put that smack down on them, held the Falcons to 168 yards of total offense. Was just not good, man. Were not good. 11 first downs, 2 of 11 on third down, 1 of 4 on fourth down. Mac Jones was efficient, 22 of 26, 207 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I'm sure Bill Belichick got on him for throwing that 1 interception. But other than that, a very efficient game. A lot of smoke screens, a lot of flanker screens, and dump off passes out of the backfield. And they don't turn the ball over, don't make mistakes, and their defense is becoming hellacious right now. So Matt Ryan was 19 of 28, 153 yards, 2 interceptions. His 2 backups came in with Josh Rosen. He promptly throws an interception. And then some dude named Felipe Franks, I remember him from the University of Florida, University of Arkansas, wasn't good at either place. He comes in and promptly throws an interception. So 4 interceptions, 1 of them returns for a touchdown, 25-0 Falcons. I don't know what you're doing, man. You're starting to look like y'all the worst team in the NFL, man. And don't look now, but people looking like they don't want to play the Patriots right now because they're starting to look like 2001. Nobody want to talk about that. All these Tom Brady worshipers don't want to hear that, but this is exactly what that looked like in 2001. low risk offense, hellacious defense, don't turn the ball over, strong on special teams, make you make mistakes, win a lot of games 13-7, 21-6. That's what they was doing. Make 1 or 2 plays a game, and don't turn the football over. Pats win 25-0. You really not wanting to play them right about now. Up next for them, the Tennessee Titans. I don't know what to say. They can't run the ball, and you can't run. You already one-dimensional. That's a team you don't want to play. Next game, I picked this one. Your boy picked this one. I picked this the first upset I called. Indianapolis 41, Buffalo Bill 15. That's the second time in 3 weeks that Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills have laid an egg. 2 weeks ago, they went 9-6 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now this week, they go 41-15 to the Indianapolis Colts. Stat of the day, at the start of the day, Jonathan Taylor, 32 carries, 185 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 touchdown receiving. Bad man. Dude got 1,132 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. He is in the running for the MVP since everybody not seeming to want to do it. And Carson Wentz went through for 107 yards. It was all about Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's a bad dude. Just to give y'all some stuff here. Like I said before, Jonathan Taylor was 32, 185, 4 touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, total of 5 touchdowns. They were, I think, 11 of 19 on third down, had like a 32 to 19 time of possession advantage, and they just ran the ball down their throat, man. Ran it for 264 yards. So Buffalo, y'all can't run the ball either. I think my man Matt Breida had like 11 carries for like 50 yards, 10 carries, 50 yards, something like that. And then I think Moss had like 30 yards. I think they ran the ball for like 85, 90 yards or whatever. Josh Allen had like 25 yards or whatever. If you can't run the ball, I'm telling you, y'all going to be playing New England in a couple of weeks. I ain't liking y'all's chances right about now. But Indianapolis, they got off to a slow start. I think it was 1-3. Should have beat Baltimore that Monday night game. And there's a couple of games they had some fluky, things happen to them. But Indianapolis, don't look now, but the Colts kind of got some things going. So Indianapolis wins that one 41-15. It wasn't even that close. It was 38-7 at one point. Wasn't even that close. All right. Next, Washington football team 27, Carolina 21. Actually, it's a pretty good game. Cam Newton's actually pretty good in that game, and so was Taylor, not Tyler, Taylor Heineke. Okay, pretty good in that game. 16-22, 206, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Antonio Gibson's 19 carries, 95 yards. They were 6 of 13 on third down. That was the story of the thing. And they converted like 2 4th and 3s late in the game. And Cam was not able to do the same thing. Cam was pretty good himself now. Let's not get this thing twisted. Cam was 21 of 27, just like the score. 189 yards, two touchdowns, no interception. He also chipped in 10 carries for 46 yards. C-Mac, 10 carries for 59 yards, 17 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown. Caught a beautiful over-the-shoulder, in-the-seam catch from Cam Newton. One of the most pretty catches he's ever Cam's ever made. So Cam is back. He's playing. Don't know if it's going to be enough, but that was actually a pretty good game. Redskins, again, I keep calling them Redskins. They had 369 yards of total offense to 290 for the Carolina Panthers. And they were able to win the time of possession battle. I think it was like 37 to like 22 point something. And, that's what they did to Tampa Bay the week before. So, the Washington football team is learning some things about ball control and, not making mistakes and just grinding the game out. And they've won 2 straight. They're 4-6. Okay. And Carolina falls to 5-6 themselves. And I don't know. We'll see. Okay, he's back. He's back. He's back. But I don't know what that means, but he's back. Next game, Baltimore. We're going to talk about this one later in the segment. Baltimore 16, Chicago Bears 13. Now, realistically, Chicago Bears should have won this game because they won the time of possession game in this game. They also won the total yardage. Thing. I think, the Bears had 353 yards of total offense to the 299 for the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens did not start. Lamar Jackson did not play. Some dude named Hunley, Tyler Hunley. Okay. And he was 26 for 36 for 219, one interception. Devontae Freeman, 16 carries for 49 yards. The tale of the thing is that the Bears scored with 1:41 left in the game. A 49-yard touchdown pass from Andy Dalton. Justin Fields got hurt in the game, too. He 4 of 11, 79 yards. He ended up getting hurt, so we ended up bringing in Justin Fields. He was like 11 or 20 for like 100 and 11 23, 201, and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Goodwin, Marcus Goodwin, 4 catches, 104 yards, caught a pretty 49-yard bomb and got knocked on his butt too. Talking about Dalton, got a roughing the passer, penalty decline, touchdown. It was 13-9 Bears with 1:41 left in the game. And then they proceeded to go, they proceeded to go 4 plays, 59 yards, in 1:16 left 25 seconds on the clock, and ended with a sack of Andy Dalton. And they ended up winning 16-13. Bears should have won that game. And Matt Nagy got a lot of flack for, I guess, the coverages or whatever they used in that game, because they did enough to win that game. Won the time of possession battle, won the yardage battle, just didn't win the game. Scored with 41 seconds left on the clock with a backup quarterback, knowing they need a touchdown. You think they would be able to close that out, but they weren't able to. And they scored with 25 seconds left. It was Devontae Freeman off left tackle for 3 yards and a touchdown with 25 seconds left in the game. That's a heartbreak right there. And the Bears have lost 5 straight. Remember, they were 3-2 at one point in this season after they beat the Raiders. They were 3-2, and they proceeded to lose the last 5 games. They're 3-7 now. Okay, they're 3-7, and it's not really looking good for them. Man, the rumor mills are swirling around Matt Nagy. We'll talk about that in our news segment. But Browns, Ravens win, and that's the thing about the Ravens. You got some of the wide receivers was out. I don't think Marquise Brown was played in this game. No, he did not. No, he did not play. No Lamar Jackson playing on the road at Chicago, and you find a way to get it done. The good teams don't make excuses. Now I'm making this comment at my Cowboys. The good teams don't make excuses. They just win the game. They find a way, get the job done. No Lamar Jackson, no Marquise Hollywood Brown, no problem. Get the job done. And they got it done. Baltimore wins 16-13. I think they're 7-3 right now, leading the AFC North. So good win, good solid win. That's a good character building win right there. When the Baltimore Ravens say next man up, they mean next man up. So Baltimore wins 16-13. And then Cleveland 13, Detroit 10. Now, this game here, 13-0 at halftime, and they had to hold on for their dear life to not give this game up to Detroit Lions. And it wasn't even, I can't think of his name. It was a dude named Tim Boyle playing quarterback. Hadn't played like 4 or 5 years, okay? And he was like, sort of like garbage. He was 15 to 23 for 77 yards. Yuck. And 2 interceptions. But that boy, DeAndre Swift, 14 carries, 36 yards in a reunion with him and Nick Chubb. They started together at the University of Georgia. Baker Mayfield, I mean, look, you playing Tim Boyle. You're not playing, golly, y'all know, what is his name? Played at the Rams. I cannot think of his name, but he didn't play. They started Tim Boyle. And Baker Mayfield went 15 for 29, which is basically 50%, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. And it wasn't for Nick Chubb. They'd have got their butt smoked because Nick Chubb was 22 carries, 130 yards. Okay. Kept them going. Dearness Johnson, 5 carries for 26 yards. Jarvis Landry, 1 catch for 16 yards. Dude, I don't know what Baker is doing. They was booing him towards the end of the game, and he's promptly skipped the post-game press conference, and which he talked about it afterwards. We'll talk about it on our news segment. But boy, you couldn't beat Tim Boyle. What we got? We gonna do? You can't beat Tim Boyle. At home. You playing against the winless Detroit Lions, and you had to hang on by the skin of your teeth to win that. And this might be the end of the road for Baker Mayfield in Cleveland as we know it. So I don't know. Now I know he's nursing a bunch of injuries: labrum, shoulder, hip, ankle, foot, toe, whatever. He got a lot of things going on. But if you're on the field, they got a capable backup in Case Keenum. Might want to rest him. Rest him for the Baltimore game, and they got a bye week after that, and they play Baltimore again after that, which is a quirky scheduling thing. But I would think about doing that and see if you can get him healthy, because if he ain't healthy, he's out there, they still looking at him like he's healthy, dude. And you ain't making it no easier with your attitude. No, ain't a big Baker fan. I tell it like it is, man. Dude, you got to do better. All them commercials you in, dude, ain't nobody trying to hear no sad stories. We're not trying to hear it. So they win, but it wasn't impressive. 13-10 over the Detroit Lions. Next game, San Francisco over Jacksonville, 30-10. Really not much to talk about that one. I think Terrence Lawrence I think he was I think they were held to 200 yards. Trevor Lawrence was held to 200 yards. I think he threw for like 158 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns. 158 yards, I'm sorry. No touchdowns, no interceptions. I think Garoppolo like 176 yards. And, it was just a workmanlike game. Really wasn't nothing there. The biggest thing out of this game is there's a lot of talk after this game that there's a lot of disunion amongst the Jacksonville brass, the head coaches and whatnot, and whether they're developing. They're not seeing the right amount of development coming from Trevor Lawrence. We know Trevor Lawrence number 1 pick in the entire draft, but they really haven't surrounded him with a lot. Don't know about that coaching staff. You got a lot of guys that don't fit together. Got one of these guys that was from Seattle. Can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he runs a certain kind of offense. And Urban Meyer really runs a different kind of offense. And so you got two kind of different things going. And I think Trevor Lawrence is kind of being caught up there. You talked about maybe installing the offense he ran when he was at Clemson, which I don't know. But everything's not well there. And but anyway, they lose this game as expected, 30-10 to the San Francisco 49ers. And then this is the game I want to talk about. I hear your Uncle Fred call this one also. Oh, yeah. Green Bay at Minnesota. I've been telling you about Minnesota just ain't cashed their checks in this year. They've been paid. It's a thing, cash the checks in, right? You know what I'm saying? This was probably the game of the day. For the most part, Minnesota was leading this thing. They was winning this thing. For the most part, it was 3-0 Green Bay, and then it was 3-3, and then Minnesota got a touchdown. Darwin Cook up the middle for 1 yard, extra point, and made it. It was missed. Come on, Greg Joseph. Him and them missed extra points, but he would figure in later. It made it 9-3. then they get another touchdown to Adam Thielen, 10 yards, made it 15 to the 3. Point after is good, made it 16-3. And then Green Bay gets a touchdown, made it no, actually Aaron Rodgers goes deep left to Diagua. Don't even know who that is, for 25 yards. That's 16 to 10. But then Minnesota scores another touchdown. Cousins to just my boy Justin Jefferson. Love me some Justin Jefferson. 22-10, 23-10 with the extra point. And in the third quarter, it's 23-10. So I'm like, yeah, Vikings doing their thing. But you ain't fixing to hold A-Rod down. So they end up going 7 plays, 85 yards. A-Rod short middle to Devontae Adams. That's that man again. It turns into a 23-17 lead. And then Rodgers deep right, left to Devontae Adams again for 18 yards touchdown. Extra point is good. Now, after leading 23 or 16-3, at one time it was 16-3, then 16-10, and then whatever. 17-10, excuse me, 17-3, 17-10. Now they up 24-23. But then Kirk Cousins said, I ain't scared. He come back and he goes 12 plays, 79 yards. He goes 23 yards to my boy Justin Jefferson, and they go up 31 because they get the 2-point conversion. And with about 2 minutes and 17 seconds left, it's 31-24 Vikes. They got to get a touchdown. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a touchdown win. But you left that man A-Rod a little too much time, because on one play, deep right, Marquise Valdez-Scantling, 75-yard touchdown. 31-31 with an extra point by Crosby. And it's a 31-31. I knew this was going to be a game. It was 31-31. So it goes to overtime. Or actually, it don't go to overtime because it's 2 minutes and 17 seconds left. And the Vikings go 8 plays, 59 yards. And they kick a field goal with 2 seconds left. Greg Joseph, 29-yard field goal, and the Vikes win. And just to give you some stats and what was probably the D game, did they punt? Green Bay, 372 yards passing, 95-yard rushing, 467 yards total offense. Minnesota is not to be, taken for granted. 318 yards passing, 90 yards rushing, 408 yards. So that's over 975 yards of total offense. And let's give you some team stats here. Give you some team stats. My cursor's going to do right here. Here we go. Get you some team stats. Time of possession about even, 28 minutes to 31 minutes. 21 first downs, 25 first downs for Minnesota. On third downs, Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay 7 for 11. Kirk Cousins and Minnesota was 9 for 13. Like I said, did they punt? It's just a well-played game. No turnovers. 2 fumbles, 3 fumbles. None of them are covered. Minnesota punted twice. Minnesota punted 3 times. Green Bay punted twice. And but just a good, high-scoring, fun game by 2 good teams. And I told you, Minnesota's going to be something to deal with at the end of the season, because they got too much talent to be in 11. But I called this one. I told you Minnesota was going to get there. Everybody had the Green Bay. Oh, they're the best team in the league. I said Minnesota going to get them. And your boy Uncle Fred was right on the money with that one. Green Bay takes one on the chin, and they go to 8-3 themselves. And Minnesota wins. I think they go to 6-5. They win 34-31. Okay. Miami 24. New York Jets 17. What else is new? New York Jets lose again, and this time Flacco did all right, 291 yards and a touchdown, didn't do too bad. But I think 2 threw for 273 yards. Miles Gaskin rushed for 95 yards, and some dude named Holmes. I think he's a special teamer, because I think most of their receivers and stuff were out. That's who was the guy for the Miami Dolphins. So So the Dolphins win that one 24-17. New Orleans and Philadelphia. Just on that one, just want to tell you about that one because New Orleans now has lost like 3 in a row. They lost to Atlanta, turned around, lost to Tennessee last week, and then they promptly lost to the Philadelphia Eagles this week. Don't look now, the Eagles have won 3 straight, and they are 5-6, only a game and a half behind the Cowboys in the NFC East. And the theme of the day, they running the dadgum football, and they ran it for 242 yards. Okay, and when you run the ball, let's just tell you what they did. Jalen Hurts did pretty good, 13-24. Yeah, it's okay. 147 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and they didn't turn the ball over, but he turned it right around and rushed it 18 times for 69 yards. Then they got Miles Sanders, just got him back. He had 16 carries for 94 yards. Then you had Jordan Howard, 10 carries for 63 yards. You're getting a pattern here. So that's like 200 yards just between them 3 guys right there. And then time of possession, they had the ball 37-01 to their 22-59. And then that leads to 12-21 on third down. That means they're keeping the football. I'm going to tell you just like this, and I tell like anybody, when you run the football, it makes everything else in your offense work better when you run the football. And my man Cosell, who does the not Howard Cosell, but I think is it Joe Cosell? Can't think, but he's a film junkie. He does a lot of the sports shows. He does like film analysis, and he's basically saying that the Philadelphia Eagles are kind of employing the same kind of offense that the Baltimore Ravens use for Lamar Jackson, with some subtle wrinkles or whatever, because he's not quite the athlete that Lamar Jackson is, but they run him in shotgun, and the zone read concept is a constant almost in every play. So you can't overrun him on your pass rushes and whatnot, because they'll cut right inside you and gash you from 18 to 20 yards. That's why you got to be real disciplined to play them. So don't look now, but they done won 3 straight. They're playing some good football because they're not afraid to run the freaking football. And they're not afraid to be who they are. Do who you do, be who you are. And they running the football, and they running it down folks' throats, man. And they really not going to be a fun team to play when they get this thing rolling. And the Cowboys better pay attention, because these guys are gaining on them. They won 3 straight. They're gaining momentum in this, and they're going to be caught them before too long if they keep leaking oil like they've been doing. But the Eagles won it. What my boy Devontae Smith do? I love me some Devontae Smith. 4 catches, 61 yards, no touchdowns. But they didn't throw up about 47 yards though. But they ran the ball, and you best believe when you run it like they run it, the play action is going to be wide open. Okay, because you run the football. Okay, all right, you ran the football. Eagles win 40-29. Scored 30 last week against the Broncos. So they actually are moving the football. Upset of the day. That's why you can't never bet on these things. Houston Texans 22, Tennessee Titans 13. And it was 19-0. Okay. Because let me tell you why it was 19-0. I'll tell you this right now, because your boy Ryan Tannehill, who basically is the guy they dependent on because King Henry's out, and he's played pretty good, beating the New Orleans Saints last week. Had a pretty good game. And the week before, had an okay game, but the defense sold the day against the Rams because they made Matthew Stafford turn it over a couple of times, a pick 6 and almost a pick 6. He was 32 of 35 of 52, 323, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions. They had cut it to 22-13 with a few minutes left, and then he promptly threw an interception. Houston Texans didn't even go but 1 yard on their drive and turned around and kicked like a 35-yard field goal to give them a 9-point margin right here. With 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, he kicked a 32-yard field goal, 4 plays, 1 yard drive, which means they turned the ball over before that. Okay. And that made it. They had cut it to 19-13, which just means a touchdown wins it. They're ahead. But he threw an interception, and then they kick a field goal, and that made it 22-13. the 13, which makes it a 9-point win. That's a 2-score win. And they weren't able to do anything with that. So Tyrod Taylor really didn't. I think he threw for like 106 yards, 107 yards. Ran the ball fairly decent, but when you getting 4 turnovers and you getting short fields, you really ain't got to do much. So, like I said, Tennessee plays New England next. You got a mistake-prone quarterback that's trying to press things. You play New England Patriots. Good luck with that, man. Don't know how that's going to go for you, but that's one I missed because nobody had the Texans over the Titans. Nobody. At Nashville, nobody had that. But that's why my boy Chris Berman said that's why they play the games, right? Okay. Cincinnati 32, Las Vegas Raiders 13. Not much to really tell you on that one other than running the football. Cincinnati, I think, ran the ball for like 175 yards, led by Joe Mixon, like 130 yards. And, I think Joe Burrow only threw for like 147 yards on 20 or 29, like 147. But they was able to run the ball and keep the time of possession and keep the Raiders off the field. Cowboys, that's the way you're going to have to beat them. Run the ball and keep them off balance. That's what you have to do. Don't abandon the run. And Bengals won. They get back on track after losing 2 in a row. Remember, they were 5-2 and promptly lost 2 straight games. It was like 5-4. And then they win this and that. They are 6-4, if I'm not mistaken. So anyhow, so they're second in the division, 6-4, right behind the Baltimore Ravens, who are 7-3, in front of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 5-4-1, and the Cleveland Browns are 6-5 in the basement. All right, so we got that one. And then we have Arizona 23, Seattle 13. Don't know what's going on with the Seattle Seahawks. Got Russell playing, didn't play well. He did all right. It was what it was. But I know one thing, they beat them with Colt McCoy and no DeAndre Hopkins and no Edmonds, and they still, was able to score and move the ball. I think Colt McCoy threw for like 300 yards and a couple touchdowns, and they win 23-13. And I think the Seattle Seahawks, I think they're like 3-7 now. So, yeah, and it might be the end of the road for them, and I mean, end of the road for either Russ may not be in Seattle much longer, and then it may be the end of the Pete Carroll era. It just might just be. Pete Carroll's like 70 years old. I mean, he might need to figure out his next move or whatever. Sometimes you wear out your welcome. You've done all you can do with a place, and your message rank gets old and stale, and they're looking for a new voice. And when Paul Allen died, I think they essentially gave him way too much power in the front office and got a tug of war. Russ wants to do one thing, he's trying to do another thing, and it's just not working. It's not working. Gave too much. They draft capital and everything for Jamal Adams, and he's okay. He's a great player, but I think you need other players. If you're going to have to spend all that much money on a safety, you need defensive and offensive linemen and other. Those are the staples. Safeties and stuff are like whipped cream. So you got to have the things you need to have. But Seattle loses. Kansas City 19, Dallas 9. We already talked about that one on my pregame rant show, post-game rant show on that one. Cowboys quit running the football. Defense really shut the Kansas City Chiefs down in the second half, only giving up 3 points. Only scored one time on 9. Their last 10 possessions got 3 points. But Dak was off. Offensive line was off. Everybody was off. We know Amari Cooper was a late scratch due to being in COVID protocol, an unvaxxed COVID protocol, which means he's going to miss 10 days. And then late in the first half, CeeDee Lamb goes down, hitting his head on the turf, and was out for the rest of the game with a concussion. So, so Cowboys had a lot of things going on. They lose that game 19-9. And then we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Chargers. Chargers win 41-37. Really thought the Steelers were going to win that one. I had the Steelers to pick to win that one because I said if Roethlisberger plays, I'm going with them. If he don't, I'm not picking Mason Rudolph against nobody. He couldn't even beat the daggum Detroit Lions. So, no, he's not beating the Chargers. But Justin Herbert, man, 382 yards passing, 90 yards rushing. He had one slick 32-yard runs, but my man Cam Hayward ran him down from behind a big defensive lineman running a guy down 30 yards behind, 30 yards downfield. You gotta say something. That was a good run by Herbert, but that's a way to don't give up on a play. Of course, now the Chargers scored on the next play because they ran it right at Hayward, who had ran 30 yards to get that tackle. You know he was winded. They ran it right at him. They got a touchdown to Austin Eckler. But it just shows you that that's the Steelers' mentality. They don't give up, because he could have just said he got there. No, he ran him down and caught him from behind 30 yards downfield. So hats off to Cam Hayward for not giving up on the play. They end up losing the game, but that's the teaching. That's a very teachable moment there that you're going to find for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lose that game. Justin Herbert hits Mike Williams for a 58-yard pass after the Steelers had taken the lead because the Chargers had did a stupid fourth down play. My man, what's his name, Don Staley or whatever, he always tries to do a lot of fourth down plays. And so, but you realize you got a 6'6", 240+ pound quarterback going fourth and inches. Why would you take the ball and hand it to a running back 5 yards deep in the backfield when you got a 6'6", 240-pound quarterback? You can just say, and just run through the line and get that first down. Stupid, man. Sometimes you can be too cute. And they was able to luckily the Steelers was kind of light in their secondary, and they was able to get that 58-yard touchdown pass from Mike Williams. But that was a very stupid play call for that fourth and inches. And I was hoping they lost that on that because I don't like to see stupid rewarded. But the Chargers win that game 41-37, and they're right with the Chiefs head in the AFC West. Steelers are in third place in the AFC North at 5-4-1, and that's the docket of the games. And like I said, your boy went 11-4. I'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So that's what we got. So now, NFL news. We got a couple NFL news things. We're gonna get up out of here. We got a couple things. Of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night. I forgot about that one. They went 30-10. Wasn't much to see there. The Giants actually wouldn't even score but 3 points, but Brady threw an interception off of Mike Evans' hands. I was talking about Mike Williams. These all these Mikes. Mike Evans' hands, and they got intercepted, and they couldn't even get but 3-4 yards on it. It was a 4 or 5 yard drive, and they had to throw it to Andrew Thomas, the left tackle for the touchdown. First time a tackle has caught a pass from a touchdown pass in New York Giants since I think 1960 or something like that. And that made it 10-10, and it was 10-10 or 17-10 at halftime, but then they were not able to do anything in the second half. Danny Dimes is just awful, man. Threw 2 terrible interceptions. He actually threw an interception to a dude laying down on the turf. That dude played 12 years in the NFL, had never gotten an interception in his career until he met Danny Dimes. Got him an interception. Matter of fact, he's only had 4 pass defenses. I'm like, what have you been doing for 12 years? Been on practice squads? But he got him an interception. Now he can retire happy. He got him an interception. So Giants lose 30-10, and then you start to wonder how come the Giants keep getting put on national TV, because they was on national TV 2 weeks ago against the Chiefs. Okay, why we keep seeing the Giants on national TV? I know they're the top media market, but they garbage right now. And to show you how garbage they are as we transition to our NFL news, they promptly after that game fired Jason Garrett as their offensive coordinator. I know Jason Garrett coached my Dallas Cowboys for a decade, did some good things, did some so-hum thing. We know he really wasn't a coach. He was really a puppet for Jerry Jones. Everybody knows that. Jerry Jones is only going to hire guys that are just going to, yes, sir, whatever you want to do, sir, I'm here to help you. That's the coach he's going to hire. He's not going to hire guys like, hey, I'm going to take this thing by the horns. We're going to do this. No, son, I'm running this. You're just my conduit. That's the way they do it. But, he did some good things for the Cowboys and whatnot, and some not so good. And I think he was 85 and 67 in 10 years. But he was mostly known for being 8-8. He had a 13-3 year, 12-4 year. And I think those were the highlights. For the most part, it was 8-8, 4-12 1 year, 8-8 his last season there, and just that's not enough to get it done. So they fired him. And they fired him in New York because the offense was 31st, 29th, 31st. Danny Dimes has not really developed, and so they went ahead and broke him off after that game. But really, it's like my man Jim Rome said, firing Jason Garrett for this is really like hanging curtains on the Titanic. Well, what are you doing? The ship's still going down. You hanging, you putting the curtains up, really not helping anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not champion or caping, as the old young folks say, but for Jason Garrett, nothing like that. But Joe Judge, his no nonsense, take no bull crap approach really ain't working. Making guys running gassers and push-ups and suicides when they miss assignments and things of that nature. I think I even heard somewhere where in the cold months to increase the players' dexterity and motor skills, he would hang a basket up outside there where they would train at so they could play basketball. I don't know if that, I don't know about that. He got some unquote. Now his claim to fame, he's a special teams coach for Bill Belichick, and I think he's had some ties with Nick Saban also. So if you come from Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, somebody think, well, I can just get somebody that just actually, had a cup of coffee with them two guys, and he can glean some wisdom. But it doesn't seem to be working. Dave Gettleman hired him. Dave Gettleman, and this is some of the things Dave Gettleman has done. He picked Danny Dimes, the number 6 pick in the entire draft. Nobody was picking him in the first round. They picked him number 6, but nobody, and everybody knows because what's my man's name? Cutcliffe was the Duke's coach, and he was Eli and Peyton's coaches. He was Peyton Manning's quarterback coach when he was at Tennessee, and he was Eli Manning's head coach who was at Ole Miss. So they were transitioning from Eli to him. So it was like, hey, we're going to here's the old Eli, this is a new Eli. Now, don't get me wrong, Danny Dimes is talented. That dude runs like a 4.4. And I've seen him run 50-something yard touchdown runs. Guy got wheels. He got wheels, okay? But sometimes he just don't know who to throw the football to. And you would think that Jason could have guided him to some better decision making. But Dave Gettleman picked Danny Dimes, the number 6 pick, Saquon Barkley at the number 2 pick. Ain't no number 2 pick worth a running back. Only what nobody say, you're not getting all the good running backs that you see in the league right now were 2nd-round picks. Okay, Alvin Kamara is a 2nd or 3rd round pick. Derrick Henry is a 2nd-round pick. So all these guys were, later round picks, and you picked a second. Don't get me wrong, Saquon Barkley's a talented dude, but for some reason can't stay healthy, can't stay on the field. If it's ain't an ACL, it's a golf ball. I mean, a grapefruit size ankle turn place on his ankle from an ankle turn, or whatever the case may be, or concussions or whatever. You just can't stay on the field. Then 1st-round pick Andrew Thomas, been basically a disappointment. They made some moves and trades to get Nate Solder, moving from one side to the other. He's not been good. There were plays in that Tampa Bay game where they had 8 men in coverage, meaning they got a 3-man front against a 5-man offensive line, and they got 2 sacks out of that. Who are you blocking? And there were times that Soldier just standing around looking for somebody to block and letting guys run past him. What are you doing? You got a 3-man front and you still got pressured twice and got sacks. Against a 5-man offensive line, you have no chance of winning. If you get pressure with 3 guys but rushing, you have no chance. Not trying to get technical, but you have no chance of winning. So Andrew Thomas he caught a touchdown pass, but he sure can't block. He was the 1st-round pick out of Georgia. 1st-round pick the year before, they picked up DeAndre Baker. He's not in the league now. He's in jail for holding up somebody, for some money. DeAndre Baker was a safety, played at the University of Georgia. Him and Thomas were teammates at the University of Georgia. Okay? Bad picks. Then he picks up Jason Garrett. So to me, Joe Judge got to go. Dave Gettleman got to go. You know, just like my man Jim Rome said, take a big cardboard box, load up everything in the Jobs organization, put it on the road, and say, hey, you can haul it, you can have it. Okay, that's what they do. But they fired Jason Garrett, so I guess they good. So anyway, Jason Garrett's out at the New York Giants OC, so we'll see what happens next for him. And then the other news is Matt Nagy. You know, they've lost 5 straight games, and they are 3-7. They play tomorrow at Detroit. And the news out of Chicago, of course, now their managing partner, McCaskill, George McCaskey, says that in a meeting with the players and coaches Wednesday, McCaskey said there's no truth to the rumors that Matt Nagy will be fired after the team's Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. Dan Pompei of The Athletic tweets, this comes after a subsequent report indicated that Nagy did not convey confidence about his rest of the season status to the players. Okay. And then it goes on to say, while Nagy is undoubtedly on thin ice and most certainly will not be back with the Bears next season, the franchise has never made an in-season quarterback coaching change ever. So, you know, a Thanksgiving loss to the winless Detroit Lions may change things for the Bears ownership. Loses 5 straight for a second consecutive season. The Bears are 3-7 and again are having extensive issues on offense. They rank 31st in total offense despite the 2-pronged offseason effort to upgrade the quarterback position. Andy Dalton is said to start in place of the injured Justin Fields on tomorrow. And against the Lions, you know, among qualified quarterbacks, Justin Fields ranks last in QBR. And Nagy handed off play calling duties to offensive coordinator Bill Lazor for the 2nd straight season, but has not proved to be to do anything. So, you know, the rumors have been out that they're gonna fire him after the game, but it seems stupid because why would you, if you're gonna fire him, go on and fire him? You know, why would you let him coach another game? You know, because of trust me, if the players know that the coach is a dead man walking, they're gonna give a half-ass effort. And they will lose tomorrow to the Detroit Lions. And so I don't know. So, and since we're picking, because that game's tomorrow, I guess we can go ahead and start picking. I'm picking the Detroit Lions on that game in that game tomorrow. Even though they got Tim, what is that guy's name? Tim Ross? What the heck's the guy's name? I can't remember. You know me and names. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, I don't want to see nobody lose their job. Yeah, I hate to see that, but they just not getting the job done. At the end of the day, it's about getting your job done, you know. So I don't know. So anyway, that's all the news I got. Of course, now I guess we go ahead and pick tomorrow's other game. You know, I got the Cowboys over the Raiders. So I got the Cowboys over the Raiders. Cowboys run the football, and then again, run the football. So that's all I got from the desk of Uncle Fred. And we're going to come back with another video when I pick them for week 12. And I got a Cowboy news video I want to share with y'all, with all my Cowboy fans. So NFL fans, this one's for you. Next video for my Cowboy fans. So that's all I got from the desk, Uncle Fred. Goodbye, y'all. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll see y'all on the other side.